Hello and welcome to this episode of The Comfort Zone. Today I'm joined by Dana Fisher, Senior Director of Regulatory Strategy. Dana, welcome.
Hey Ross, great to be here.
Oh, fantastic. So, Senior Director of Regulatory Strategy, what are you senior directing strategy-wise?
It's a great question. So the regulatory team is a group of 7 of us that cover a wide range of different topics. We're responsible for ensuring that we certify our products and meet all the standards. And part of that is being knowledgeable in all the standards and in helping in the development of them through the various certifying bodies, whether you're talking about HEERA or ASHRAE or UL committees. So we get involved in a lot of different committee discussions and phone calls and Zoom calls and in-person visits. We're also, doing everything we can to get involved in policy conversations about, Energy Star standards or the criteria for 25C or you name it. We're all engaged in all these things that are incredibly detailed and from all perspectives would appear to be incredibly boring, but really it's like really boring until it's super exciting, and then you've got to be right there.
So I imagine in these conversations with regulatory bodies and accrediting agencies, it's not just Mitsubishi. Our competitors are there as well.
That's right.
Having the same conversation.
That's right. We're at the table with all the different major OEMs, whether they're ductless manufacturers or traditional domestic unitary manufacturers. They all have their representatives there. They're all seeking their interests. It's fascinating, but it is also a heck of a sport with lots of elbows.
So I imagine, you say a sport, elbows are getting up to the bar and finding your space so you can reach across and order a cocktail or at least somewhat in that nature, but we're all after the same thing, and that's an efficient product for the consumer that meets their comfort needs.
Yeah. There's collaboration. Of course, these same groups and bodies are the ones that are developing safety standards going forward. So, we work together as a community to collectively arrive at the appropriate agreed upon standards for refrigerants or for electric safety.
It's a common goal.
Yeah, it's a common goal, and it's sort of in the betterment of the industry. But of course, we all have our specific, product line interests and whatever.
Absolutely.
So it kind of you can see the support for one thing or another in the course of those conversations.
Based upon who's got the product that meets that need the most.
Yeah, and we're no different from that. Right. We have things that other people don't have, and so anytime there's an opportunity to advocate for, super cold climate performance and hyperheat, well, we've got that covered.
That's right.
We're in.
So you mentioned hyperheat, and winter will be upon us in the coming months. What's the update or latest as far as HEERA or IRA?
Yeah. So HEERA and IRA, the IRA program, the federal incentives are a hot topic. Multiple states are getting approvals through DOE. This whole period of time, multiple states are trying to lay out how they're going to launch, when they're going to launch their programs. So, for contractors that have been paying attention to this, key into the energy efficiency programs in your state or the state energy office. Some of the programs are, geared and running through CAP agencies, like Arizona is an example of that. Others are having more of an open program. All of them are low income. Some are launching, retail programs that incorporate some of the various electrification measures, like heat pump water heaters or heat pump dryers that don't really have anything to do with Mitsubishi. But most of them are going to have some connection to heat pumps, mostly in low and moderate income programs. So if you, as a contractor, have interest in engaging in those programs and receiving those benefits, the best way is to really, keep an eye out on the programs that are being launched in the state and get engaged. So it's an interesting time, and the rollout's definitely happening for all those rebate programs in the states.
Is there a particular state that's kind of led the way or is less bureaucracy than the next to have a model out there that's replicable?
Well, we're still waiting for some of the paint to dry in the different programs. It's really still early. Most of the programs that have launched early have relied upon existing programs. So, for example, New York State has basically said, well, we're going to take the IRA dollars for electrification and pour it into our Empower Plus program, which has been a long-standing program at assisting low-income households. And they're just affording additional measures and allowing the program to reach more people. So
they're taking maybe an existing online template.
Yep.
When I say online, there's a website contractor can visit, put in system information, and maybe now there'll be a new checkbox election or something like that.
Well, a lot of the programs, I mean, like tech in California might be more along those lines. Places like New York, it's sort of like it's less consumer facing. So if somebody is a consumer that would qualify for these things, they might reach out to Enphase and seek to get an energy audit or somebody to review their house and see what kind of measures would be applicable. Some of the states, including New York, requiring a certain threshold of weatherization to have occurred or an energy audit, but then they'll walk people through the whole process. So it isn't so much that in these programs people are saying, oh, I want this or I want this. A lot of times they're having to engage the program in total, which has pluses and minuses. And I mean, but like overall, and not to kind of sidestep the HEER programs through IRA, the most powerful mechanism through the federal government at this point for heat pumps continues to be 25C tax credits. And those 25C tax credits are going to be around they're slated to be around until 2032, through 2032 years. So, if there are contractors out there that haven't incorporated that into their sales pitch to clue customers into that tax credit of 30% up to $2,000, it's a great time to do it. We know that the standard is going to vary from year to year, and this coming year will be no exception to that. But by overall, we have a huge selection of models and products that are going to qualify, whether they're 410A or into the future with 454B products. And while we're on the topic of IRA, we are anxious to make sure that we're providing the most up-to-date information to the general public and to contractors. And so we'll continue to generate and provide something we're calling Dana's Domain around all these regulatory topics and information on what's happening at the federal and state level. And so we'll keep rolling those out, and they're coming to the learning management system and your computer.
So Dana, when you're not doing all these regulatory things, how do you enjoy spending your time?
Well, mostly I just talk about heat pumps every day. No, not really. I mean, I do talk about heat pumps every single day, but there are a bunch of other things that I like to do. I have the great fortune of living in beautiful Portland, Maine. It's really a delightful place to be year-round. It does get very cold, but the summers are fantastic. And I've been an avid small boat sailor for a long, long time. Dinghies, and I did some sailboat racing when I was in college and stuff. But I also grew up around a Hobie Cat fleet, and so I have a Hobie Cat that I sail on Lake Sebago, and try and just breathe once in a while and enjoy some time away. But I love gardening. I've got a huge crop of tomatillos coming up this year. They're really crushing it, and I did pretty well on my garlic this year, and the tomatoes are always fun. So gardening and yard work and tinkering. I do all my own stuff around the house for better or worse, and just try and enjoy the outdoors, do some hiking and mountain biking and that sort of thing in between talking about heat pumps.
Now I'm going to ask for some salsa verde when you get a chance. I think that'd be great for you to ship down here to the south.
Yeah, We'll have a big old batch of salsa verde this year for sure. We did that last year, and it inspired me to just because the garden beds do different things over the course of the growing season. So it's like I started out with a whole bed of cilantro and did chimichurri sauce, and then I just let the whole thing turn over to be a harvest for salsa verde. So it's a saucy little 3x8 bed.
Excellent. Well, in the comfort zone here, we asked the question, what is your comfort zone, to every one of our guests. So Dana, what is your comfort zone?
Well, I love that question. My comfort zone is actually is 100% heating with heat pumps. My house is my comfort zone. It is heated with 2 FS12s, one in the basement, one on the first floor. It's not a very big house, but I've been heating it exclusively with FS 1-ton systems for years now and have had zero backup need. Even 2 years ago when it was negative 12 degrees Fahrenheit in Portland for a weekend in February, wind chill was colder than negative 30. And it's really not a problem. I mean, so hyperheat is my comfort zone.
All right. And what hyperheat temperature do you enjoy most?
Well, I don't really control the thermostat. That's Janet's call, so she sets the thermostats and I just observe how everything goes to make sure it's all good. So I just make sure everything's shoveled out and it's a happy camper.
Excellent. Well, Dana, thank you for joining me. We look forward to seeing you again on the Comfort Zone.